Attention Helldivers, this is a special educational bulletin from Super Earth Command. After months of gruesome fighting on both fronts, High Command has seen an uptick in less than democratic talk amongst the troops on the nature of the war and their involvement in it. If we are to spread fascism, manage democracy to the planets under the control of the soulless automatons and the bloodthirsty Tyranids, these types of thoughts and statements must be purged from our hearts and minds. As part of this campaign to reinforce democratic values on the front lines, we have attached educational materials to help you great Helldivers understand what words are patriotic and what are treasonous. No statements made in the continuing materials are endorsed by Super Earth. You have been warned. You know, it was a real gamble to do that intro, because people will either see it for the satire that it actually is, or they will actually turn off the video because they think they're committing treason, because this game has developed that level of a culture of personality.
Hey, this game's been out for 6 months now. This is a little late, don't you think?
Yes and no. On one hand, this game has an ever-changing world. Hey, Anthem, you watching this? That is almost fully determined by player contribution, and I wanted to see how well this would maintain a player base, along with how involved the devs stayed in its progression before I made a solid statement about it. On the other hand, I'm a mentally ill man with a lot of shit going on in his life, and I do this out of passion and not pay, so it can be very hard to prioritize videos over other things in my day-to-day life. I'll let you decide. Helldivers II is the sequel to Helldivers 1, and not really the super forgettable Starship Troopers game that came out last year. You are an aforementioned Helldiver, the best of the best in humanity's defense against the alien menace. After passing the most strenuous 5-minute boot camp outside of the old America's Army games, you load up and enter the galaxy as a whole to choose what planet you want to spread managed democracy to. What's managed democracy, you might ask? You're not here to ask questions, soldier. You're here to spill oil and blood in the name of Super Earth. The map is the first standout thing about this game. The sectors are split all across the map with planets in each. Sectors under enemy control are highlighted red or yellow, and zooming in on them shows the planets needing sweet liberation or glorious defense from counterattack. From here, you can also see the overview of the personnel allocation on these planets. Most of the time, there's a major order that needs accomplishing, ranging from liberate a certain planet to killing 2 billion bugs in 18 hours. Good job on that one, you fucking demons. So once you pick the planet that needs sweet liberty, you load up and drop into the hell below.
Oh, that's why they're called Helldivers.
Before you drop, you pick your weapons, armor, and stratagems. Weapon varieties are ranging from dinky pistols to standard rifles to explosive bolt-action rifles? Most armors have different perks like increased grenades or stims, to the coin flip chance that you won't die when taking fatal damage, probably blocked by the sheer size of your massive balls. Stratagems are for bonus abilities. 3 if the planet you're on fucking sucks, that allow you to call in items or abilities to assist you in your endeavors. Lots of light armored enemies. We got machine guns, strafing runs, and airburst barrages. Big armored bastards, get you a railgun strike or the quasar cannon. You want some good all-rounders? Let's get you an autocannon in the Eagle airstrike. Oh, you want to be a dick and kill your friends? Well, here's the mortar, minefield, and 380mm barrage. Did we mention friendly fire's always on? Hey, if you don't want to worry about that, you can always slap on some scout armor, close your lobby, and run some solos. But get into the higher difficulties, and going alone either means you're stupid or very, very sweaty. Here is where the game got me. I hate competitive multiplayer. I hate what it's done to the gaming community over the last 10 years. While Helldivers has no PvP outside of landing and immediately blasting your boy by blowing away his bonce with a blam of a breaker bash, it is very cooperative focused. I remember at launch many voices calling for a multiplayer mode, and I commend the devs for sticking to their guns and refusing such a game mode. Multiplayer requires a completely different focus than a cooperative game. A whole new level of map design and weapons balancing is required. And while many developers will attempt to cram all 3, solo, co-op, and multiplayer, into a single game, normally it's obvious which of these modes was the favored child. Arrowhead is a small studio who would rather have a singular focus and attempt to give it their all. And while there is a way to play solo, it's very obvious that this was not the intended way to play the game. You may be thinking about Vermintide or Left 4 Dead right now, but this is different. The locations are littered with lootable locations, enemy outposts, differing sub-objectives, and enemy patrols. And so long as you don't kick the hornet's nest the moment you land, you could go from one side of your map to the other and never aggro the enemy. Hell, I've cleared whole automaton maps with the autocannon before with minimal aggro. The combat also functions in a manner similar to milsim games. You aren't going to pull off any kind of mid to long range accuracy on the move, and going crouched or prone offers significant accuracy and handling bonuses. Dropping your mag expends all remaining ammunition, and weapons function as real weapons do. Ditch a half-empty mag but don't complete the reload animation, and you'll still have one round in the chamber until you complete the animation. The autocannon also uses the first clip system I've seen in gaming outside of the M1 Garand from every World War II game that ever existed. It's a weapon capable of holding 2 whole 5-round clips, being mindful of how many rounds you've expended before you can load another clip. You can also team load weapons, and with solid communication with your loaders, you can pack some extremely effective fire support with your friends. While a lot of this game is spent in highly chaotic and hilarious combat scenarios, there's heavy potential for you to run as a highly coordinated and deadly fire team, maintaining stratagem counts, and planning your assaults into heavily fortified positions. It's some of the most fun I've had in a cooperative experience in an extremely long time. So long as the game is functioning. 6 months later, and there is still a decent amount of bugs.
Oh, you ripped BG3 a new one because of how buggy it was. You must not like this game.
See, I love hearing statements like this because it shows me one of two things. Either you attempted your best David Carradine impression with your mother's umbilical cord on your way out the womb and still suffer side effects of permanent brain damage, or you just don't fucking listen. Ask anyone who plays Helldivers 2 about the bugs. We will all acknowledge them. We embrace the goofiness of most of them and openly complain about the big ones. We are well aware of our game's quirkiness and the proud little engine that could and still fucking does, especially given how small the studio behind it is, how caught off guard they were at the game's success, and how tirelessly they have patched bugs and glitches and still maintained a steady stream of content that is all unlockable without paying a single extra dime. But you can if you want. I love both these games, but the Helldivers 2 community has no problem pointing out its own deformities and laughing at it. Meanwhile, point out any flaws to Baldur's Gate 3 fans, and they will bury their heads in sand so hard, they'll miss the ground and go straight up their own asses. To the point that even though the shit was right in front of them when they wiggled their noses, it hit their prostates and they could ignore it all out of sheer fucking horniness.
Wait, you said microtransactions.
Yep, you darn tootin' right I did. Let's break this down. War bonds are the game's way of unlocking new content. You start off with a free 10-page war bond that you purchase items in with war bond medals. These are acquired from completing the daily personal order, the globally focused major order, or by completing missions and operations. Some can even be found planet-side at minor locations. After spending enough medals, deeper pages will unlock. Newer war bonds released are called premium war bonds, and they use a currency called super credits. Super credits are this game's premium currency, but they are the least predatory microtransaction system I have ever seen. Each premium war bond, of which there are now 6 in 6 months, offers 3 pages of content for 1,000 super credits, or a $10 microtransaction. Whoa, wait, the amount you need right there and available. Holy shit. Tess Everest would shit her drawers about that. The only other thing you can spend super credits on is a rotation of armor sets, of which there are only ever 4 pieces available, never making you feel like they are pushing these items on you. But if there is something available you want, feel free to grab it. There is also a second way to acquire super credits without ever spending your money. At minor locations in the game, they can drop for 10 a pop, and this adds up pretty quick. If you don't play that much, chances are you're still working on that primary bond and don't need to buy the premium ones anyway. If you play a bunch, there is a strong chance you have a lot of super credits to buy the war bond or get it at a discount. When it's this out of the way to spend your actual money, I'm fairly certain the devs didn't put it there to bleed my wallet, but more of a, hey, if you like what we're giving you, here's a chance to help out more. Plus, there's no stat boosters or resources or pay-to-win aspects like in a Ubisoft game. And the things you're buying are affordable, unlike the fucking Eververse store. This, with the obvious effort of quality and a singular vision that the developers have for the game, makes me okay with giving them my money. If Helldivers was a person, it'd be that one in school that didn't know how to dress and acted real goofy, only to grow up and become an absolute 10 with its quirkiness still intact. The shift on top-down shooter to third-person beauty was insane, and the studio has put all of its love for their product on display. Not only did they have the world's best glow-up, but they retained a sense of self-worth. Watching the whole community stand up to Sony demanding PSN accounts from all players was stellar. Not since the backlash to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie have I seen a large company walk back a screw-up like that due to fan reaction.
Yeah, well, the numbers have dropped significantly since launch.
Oh my god. With online games, they always do. Do I think everyone will be playing this and only this for a long time? Nah. As much as I wish it, this type of game isn't mainstream. But what it is, you can come to whenever and hop right back in. War Bond medals from major orders are given to you whether you participated in the operation or not, stacking up to 250 medals before cap. This allows players to continue to purchase new items even if they've been away for a while. The studio puts out new War Bonds on a regular basis, and the story is constantly being adjusted. So it feels like you're fully a part of the story. We wiped the automatons off the map, rallied when they return. We blew up an entire fucking planet full of bugs, and at Writing, the bots are 2 sectors away from reaching Super Earth. And one of the old factions still hasn't shown its face. I'd say this game has shown its potential. It's shown to AAA that it's possible to be a great shooter without being some gross money-hungry multiplayer whore. It's put teamwork and story back into the focus of online gaming. It may just be the algorithm for me, but it seems like what people have been enjoying lately are mostly indie company titles. Lethal Company, Sons of the Forest, Hi-Fi Rush. My love for Helldivers is twofold. One, because it's a damn good game made by a damn good developer. And two, because it's another eye-opener to more people in the community on the level of quality and care we should expect from a game. This kind of dedication should not be a wow item, but a fucking baseline. Because 10 years ago it was. We only see big devs, quote unquote, care when the community gets vocal.
How do we keep the momentum?
Stop listening to streamers. Never think AAA is learning from their mistakes. And know that those developers don't give a shit about you defending them, no matter how much you wish the oxygen in the air was replaced by their poultry products. Or to put it simply, stop inhaling their cocks.